Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
Marty Jannetty, MJ in the house.
I don't even have a watch on, but I know it's Thursday night at 9 p.m., and you know what that means.
What does it mean?
Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty is up next. Stand by.
Yes, sir.
Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive explodes into Christmas with 12 featured superstar guests. We can't bring you a live wrestling event due to COVID restrictions, but we'll be bringing you a series of cyber signings and meet and greets. On Saturday, November the 14th, fans around the corner and around the world can join WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas for a live cyber autograph signing, as well as presenting his tremendous artwork here at MWF Studios. Get a personalized autograph from Tony signed live on the air and mailed to your home. Join us now through mid-December as the superstars help us continue our annual mission to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house this Christmas and put smiles on faces while honoring Paul Bearer's memory. VIP packages are still available. Don't worry if you've missed a live superstar signing. Every star is signing enough photos while they're in Boston to fill VIP packages through December the 19th. Whether for your wrestling collection or to give as a holiday gift, if you're going to take part in any toy drive this year, please help our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. Visit bostonwrestling.com and our social media platforms for complete event and toy drive information.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
MJ in the house, otherwise known as that rocker Marty Jannetty.
Hope all is well in your world, wherever you may be. We always appreciate you stopping by every Tuesday night with Mr. USA Tony Atlas with Wrestling Insiders at your house. But I tell you, fans around the country, around the globe, they are loving Thursdays at 9 with Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Marty, they're enjoying your stories. You're a man that has a never-ending source of stories, experiences.
It's just I never stop talking.
Well, you know what, and I guess that makes for a good talk show, right?
I guess so, yeah.
You guess so. The last time we left off, we had a massive storm. The fans get to see a little bit what went on here behind the scenes. It was a challenge to try and put that episode together, but in the end, we made it happen. It wasn't the best of days, but we lost several hours of recording time, so we're trying to make up for it here this week. So
yeah.
We're back to having fun again. What's that?
That was some brutal weather.
Oh, wait a minute. Who's doing the run-in now? An 800 number. Well, we're not going to answer that. It was brutal weather. We're taping this in the summertime as we're taping multiple episodes. It'll be fall by the time this airs. But I have never in now 19 years of our live wrestling events, productions here in studio, we've never had a power outage.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't think I've been in one like that.
And I hope it's the last time. Let me tell you.
Later today.
Yeah, the makeshift operation we had to do for the SummerSlam live stream. That's a different story for a different time.
Yeah, that was brutal too, but it was fun. I mean,
we made it happen.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's all you can do. We made it happen.
I love the interaction with the fans. Say you learn something, and then you get to laugh a couple of times. You get new friends. You know, I really like that. You know? So and y'all, when we do the live ones, y'all want to call in because we make friendships there.
Well, we're hoping to have Marty back for a future WWE pay-per-view live stream soon where you can get an autographed photo from him. I know a lot of fans, Marty, they've asked about personal appearances. If you're interested in booking Marty for a virtual autograph signing, I know there are some places that are doing personal autograph signings.
There's a lot of places.
We do have the contact information scrolling on the screen. We'd be happy to try and set you up with having a former WWE Intercontinental and Tag Team Champion come to your place. And you know what? Not just Marty, but all of the legends in this business right now are hurting. 6 or 7 months now without...
Yeah, but I'm hurting in the ankles.
Well, your ankles hurt. So he's hurting physically and financially right now. So it's a double whammy for him. Huh?
Don't be telling my financial problems.
You know what? He's doing great. He doesn't need any booking. He's going to turn it all down.
Just hit me up too on my, what is it, Facebook? On my Facebook too, sometimes there. But right now I am kind of tight on money because I have to get lawyers.
Well, and then there's that. And then there's that.
Yeah.
Again, we got great merchandise on eBay. We'll give you a shout out on the show with purchasing some of those great items. Tony Atlas has been mowing them down up in Auburn, Maine. We have the Patreon service where for just basically the cost of a cup of Starbucks coffee in 2020, you get great access to our studio shoot interview DVD library, early access to Wrestling Insiders with Tony Atlas and Marty Jannetty each week. It helps keep Wrestling Legends working. That means a lot to me because I've seen how so many of our friends and so many of our brotherhood have suffered towards the end of life. Kamala is a great example of that.
Quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I'll let them tell their own, they may not want.
Right, everyone's story is different, but overall, other than a select few, they were not giant seven-figure contracts rolling around in the 80s into the 90s.
I think what's his name, Big Show,
Mm-hmm.
he got one of the largest ones. Now I shouldn't be telling numbers like this, but
that's kind of public knowledge.
But is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a 900,000 because Vince didn't want to crack that million.
Yeah. I think actually, to be honest, I think it was 950.
950.
For a 950 average over 10 years. Yeah.
Oh, is that
That
what
was
it
a hell of a contract. 10 years at 950 a year.
Yeah, damn. No wonder he's got his own plane.
Well, at that size, you kind of need one.
There was that Vince McMahon laugh.
Fans, do you hear it? I don't. But you know what? He knows the laugh better than I do, so maybe he's on to something. I don't know.
I'll point it out when he does it.
I'd like to think I have a more genuine interest in the Legends doing well. I don't know.
Yeah,
Vince gets a lot of heat.
Hey, can you, like, when they're watching this, can they rewind it if they miss something?
Yeah.
You can?
Oh, yeah. They can go back.
I really wanted to ask for myself when I go watch it.
Well, you can go back and watch, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And fans, if you are watching this live on the Thursday night premiere, we have the chat going on where you guys can interact. Usually I'll be on live with you, responding to your messages and comments. We have some laughs, as I do on the Tony Atlas premiere on Tuesday nights. We have the gray little super chat button. If you click that, it helps the cause. The more you guys interact with us, the more content we can bring you. And again, keep the Legends working. If you give us a thumbs up, that helps. If you subscribe to the channel, it's free. That helps. I mean, it's all good. All good. I have the hiccups now.
You got
I don't know what
hiccups?
you're doing to me.
Don't forget,
John Cena-
it's not beer.
It's the John Cena Senior Fabo Pop Collection, which is going to be, I'm sure, a great gift
Yeah.
this holiday
It's good,
season
too.
for your
It's
loved
very
one.
good.
I guess it's so sticky you can even put it on the bottom of a piece. I don't know.
On the bottom of what?
A piece. I don't know.
What is wrong with you? You've changed.
Well, speaking of someone that changed, in November of 1988, it was the end of the road for another man that needed some legal counsel before he went to jail. The Olympic strongman Ken Patera.
Oh, is that where they? Is that when that happened? I thought
he left jail and he came back in '87, but it was a very brief run and it wasn't all that successful.
He was there for a short bit when we first came in.
Yeah.
He loved to go to some Italian restaurants, and he knew the best ones. Everywhere we went, he'd always take us out. What are you drinking? Some Papo?
Some
No,
Fabo
what's it called?
Fabo.
Fabo stuff is good, Yeah. Yeah, he'd find the good Italian restaurants, and we'd always go out, and man, he loved to eat. He could eat. I tried to keep up with him, but damn. But they, they had that problem with, what was it, a fight at McDonald's or something?
Yeah, him and Saito.
Yeah.
They threw a boulder through the McDonald's restaurant for not letting them in to serve them, and then, as legend has it, when the police officers arrived, Patera was so strong, the female officer got tossed, and I think she broke her back.
Oh,
So,
I heard one of them. I didn't know it was female.
Yeah.
But
I could be wrong about that, but that's how legend
Didn't he
had it.
throw, the way I'd heard it, he threw a few of them, and then Saito finished it off.
They really wanted a Big Mac. I don't know.
They were getting attacked in the room, though. So I imagine you see about 6, 7 policemen running in the room. It scares you out of the middle of the sleep. I know one time, it's not here or there, but I just with one of my friends I was staying with, hanging out with, I should say, and my boy Alex. Hey, Alex Kendrick, what up? They might have gotten the word that they thought some kind of something was going on at the house. Maybe there was some people coming by, some of the young, some of his friends. Maybe there were. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to, embarrass nobody. But maybe there was some drug selling or something going on. They thought maybe, possibly. And
With Patera and Saito?
No, this was with me.
Oh.
And I'm just saying how it must, how they must have felt waking up to the police. So I know I was asleep upstairs, and they were mainly checking the downstairs, which is where Alex was staying. And he was clean. I mean, he hadn't done anything wrong. It was just some bad word got out. But I'm asleep with my hands up under the pillow like this, and I'm hearing, "Move your hands, move your hands, move your hands, slow." And I'm waking up, and I'd been watching, what do you call it, 48 Hours, that police show. And I'm thinking, am I dreaming? They're standing there with their guns drawn on me. There's 3 of them. There's one up front, and he was shaking. I'm like, oh my God, am I dreaming this shit? And I looked over at the TV, and it still was on, I think it was ID and Investigative Discovery or something. And there's a plug. and boy, they were screaming for me to move because my hands were under the pillow, but I was asleep like that. But from their perspective, I might have a gun under there. So I had to, like, man, I was moving as slow as I could. And it was just scary to see 3 guns drawn on you. The front guy's, his hands shaking. I mean, that's never good. So that was terrifying, and I imagine the same thing had just happened to Alex downstairs. They had cuffed him up by the time they brought me downstairs to question me. They actually took us in to question us. But then everybody was good to go. I mean, there was nothing going on there that shouldn't have been. But yeah, it's just terrifying. And you imagine them 2 big guys waking up and there's a whole bunch of police coming at them. So,
Was everything well at the end of the altercation?
Oh, that was, yeah, it was. They took us in for questioning, and really what I think they were doing was hoping they'd get some information on other guys.
Gotcha.
And Alex was young at the time. I think he was 17 maybe, 16 or 17. And, hanging around a bunch of kids, not doing any serious stuff, just probably selling some weed or something. And they're trying to scare Alex, because he was so young, into saying where, he gets any, if he gets any, if he was getting any.
And you just happened
Actually,
to
I got to tell you, he did have a little bag of weed on him, though. But it was the funniest damn thing, because they wrecked the downstairs room. Because when I went down and sat there, they called Jennifer, who was the girl that I was seeing at that time. They called her home from work to question her, too. And they got us all cuffed up while they questioned us. And but they had ransacked Alex's room, and there was nothing there. But he had took his bag of weed. He kept it hid, like like a pot, what do you call it, a lampshade. It's sort of shaped like that. He cracked it open, put the weed in there, and then put it back on, and had a little rubber band. They never checked it. Of all the places he found, that was a pretty good one.
Well, he found a good hiding spot.
Yeah. I mean, there was like 3, 4 cops in there. 3, there was 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Just ransacking it, man. You'd ever throw it there. And when they do that, they don't clean back up.
No, they don't
leave
send the
it.
cleaning service in.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an adventure. It seems like I always have police around, even when I don't do anything.
You were just trying to catch some Z's.
Yeah. She had to go to work. She had to be in by 9. She had just left. I just got back to sleep. And then I get screamed at. Move your hands, slowly, 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 with guns all over me. That's a hell of a way to wake up.
You can't make that up.
No, gosh.
Did you think Patera fit into the WWF in 1988?
I thought so,
With that
yeah.
time in jail, do you think maybe he lost a step, or?
Well, he might have lost a little following. But, I mean, it only takes one match to put you right back in. You just get a big win against somebody. Like last night, what's his name beat Orton?
Drew McIntyre, yeah.
Are we supposed to say last night? Well, this is like how many weeks from now?
This is probably going to be into the fall, so it definitely won't be last night.
Yeah, okay, never
But
mind
for the
about that.
fans that watch SummerSlam, they understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so we was watching we was doing the virtual signing, I think, during SummerSlam. Like I said, y'all need to tune in when we do those things. They're very fun. Everybody, well, at least I do. I had a good time. You were over there screaming about something.
Well, no, we had some life issues we had going
technical.
on. We had to do, instead of a run in, a run out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We had to leave the hotel.
That was
for
almost
a
a
little bit,
Vince laugh. Almost.
Semi-Vince.
Yeah, that was close.
With Patera, it got bad for him towards the end. He was jobbing out to Bad News Brown, and then the story he told me at the Cauliflower Rally Club out in Las Vegas, him, and Terry Funk had dinner at a TGI Fridays, believe it or not. John
really?
Candy wasn't our waitress, but they were having him job out to Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster, on his way out, and he just said the fans were scoffing at it.
Really?
It had no believability. Seeing a guy at his size jobbing out to a rooster.
To a rooster.
And he didn't enjoy it, and he made it well known.
Yeah, he was vocal. He would let you know.
You could tell.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
I think so.
He's super nice. But, you know, like a lot of Italians, you don't want to piss them off. Yeah.
Especially at his size and strength.
He's unbelievable.
Could you tell he was
what was he, the Olympics?
Olympic strongman, yeah. Could you tell that he was an unhappy camper on his way out?
I might not have been there. I might have got fired by then. You know, I got fired like 5 or 6 times.
Well, he left in November of '88, so you guys were there.
And I quit like 3 or 4. So it's a whole bunch of in and outs. There was events. That was all the way Vince right there. Yeah, there was a bunch of in and outs. Some were my fault, some weren't. Dang Sean got me fired once. I told you about that? That's in Rumble.
No, that's further down the life and times of Marty Jannetty story. Into the fall of 1988, as we noted in previous episodes, you worked the Conquistadors about 680 times on various house show swings.
Sometimes, you know, one time we did 3 shows one day. We did like a.
Did you do 3 shots in one day?
Noon.
Wow.
We did a noon. Jumped in the car and drove. Where the hell was that, man? It was. I can't remember. I just remember we had another show around 3:30, and the guys would as soon as the first guys to the building. That's how you determine what match you're on. We're here first. We got to go on out there, get the show going, and then we did an 8 o'clock show that night. We did. That was the only time. But now I've done it with the Independents. I've done that. But that was with WWE or WWF at the time. That was first, and it was cutting so close. Like the main event almost didn't get to the middle show in time, so they didn't want to try that again. In a sense, it is kind of greed. It's like everything's selling out. So let's just keep running shit. We'll run the boys into the ground. We don't care about them. We got replacements. But and I'm kind of kidding about that. I mean, I loved it. You know, being a single guy, every town's a new girl. That probably sounded horrible. I'm sorry about that.
Did you, at that point in time, you liked the multi-shots in one day because it was multi-paydays?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, you know, a lot of times if you're a single guy, and I go with the Joe Namath theory that it's un-American for a single guy not to be surrounded by women. Right?
That's his phrase.
It's mine now.
All right, you hustled it from him. Fans have asked, what was it like to have to be away from home on Thanksgiving, wrestling at Survivor Series and those pay-per-views?
I didn't mind because, you know, again, I'm single. So what am I going to do, sit around and eat a turkey by myself?
Did you have some beautiful women in Richfield, Ohio?
In Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's another story with the sheep.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you later about
one.
the takedowns.
The takedowns?
Yeah.
Well, no,
but that was, if we're going to go chronological order, that's a little later.
So it's all right. You know what? I like the way you think, brother. But working on the holidays was never a big deal to you.
Not to me.
I mean,
you know what? At one point, was it Denny's? One of the restaurants would serve like they would have a big, you could order, you know, for whatever, I don't remember what it cost, maybe $10, and you get a big old turkey leg and, you know, whatever you want on a plate. Thanksgiving plate kind of thing, dressing and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, because you know, fans, the main thing are the fans going to come out on Thanksgiving,
right.
And they do.
They sure do.
They fill the place up, and you know, so that's always another lovely lady somewhere in the road. I hate for lovely ladies to be by herself.
You're very considerate.
Yeah.
You're a considerate guy, that's all.
Well, yeah, you don't want them to be alone.
Thoughtful?
Right.
No.
Caring.
And caring, that's right. And sensitive.
That too. I'll start crying here in a little bit.
All right, well, we don't want to do that. But I remember the Thanksgiving. This was the first time last year I had been away from home on the Thanksgiving holiday, other than that scare I had with the Sheik in Toronto. But
that was on Thanksgiving?
It was Thanksgiving week in 2006 when I think I told you about that escapade at the Iranian steakhouse and
yeah,
trying to hustle the cabbie for some certain kinds of medicine in Iranian, and oh my God.
I cannot believe it.
And then we went back to the house where he had all the blow and the marijuana, and it was just...
I could just hear him.
Just a cheeky...
Dan, come on now, Dan. Where is the medicine?
A cheeky
baby
shit show. I
cannot believe you don't have the damn medicine.
Well, I'll tell you,
interview.
For the fans that maybe have caught up on some of our episodes, what really had me thinking was you told the story about how Nikolai Volkov thought that maybe the Sheik wanted to humble him. For this reality TV show that I booked the Sheik on, him and I shared a 2-bedroom hotel suite. which I did not know of ahead of time, or I would have asked for I would have settled for an economy one-bedroom for myself, but they wanted to show off to the two of us, the TV channel, but to think that the Sheik was gazing at Nikolai in that way, that had
and
me...
told him about it.
It had me clenching the ass cheeks a little tighter, you know what I mean?
Nikolai told me, I saw him. He was looking right at my ass. I had to turn around and tell him, stop staring at my ass. And then Sheik told him the next day, he says, Nikolai, when I come in, your ass was hanging out. It was nice and shiny. I wanted to, but Sheik not do that to Nikolai.
Well,
he said, you damn right you're not doing that to Nikolai.
That's true friendship. That's true friendship when you won't rape a man in his sleep. Oh my gosh. All right, wrestling fans, moving on through the year that was 1988. On December the 10th, the fans that got to enjoy the WWE syndicated programs got to see an angle that was taped almost a month before on November 15th out in San Francisco. Finally getting the Rockers away from the Conquistadors. It was the big angle set up between the Rockers and newcomers Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, the Brain Busters.
I'm too hyper right now.
All right, keep going, brother. Your memories on that kickoff to what turned into a very, very memorable series that's still talking
With
about
the Brain
now.
Busters?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the best, man. I mean, that's probably one, if not the one of the best runs that we had, I felt like, because we learned so much from them. Mm-hmm. We thought we come in there like, nah, we know it all now. We just did it like 6 months with the Conquistadors. We learned from them. Yep. We did a year with Buddy and Doug. We learned from them. Now we know what's going on. Yeah, okay. And then come Tully and Arn, and we learned some more stuff. But it was mainly how to up the intensity as you go, like I was saying on one of the other shows. Mm-hmm. It was just great stuff. There were great spots we could do with them. You know, they weren't so much the high flying, but they did great spots. They knew, how to set up great spots with us, for what we could do. Mm-hmm. That's a sign of a great worker, when you know how to set the matchup that benefits both of you by using their assets and the things they can do best. And Tully and Arn were genius at that. Very good. I think we did one almost an hour long, like a 45-minute. It might have been televised. I think it might have been on that Saturday main event show or something.
Yeah, you did a 2 out of 3 fall with them.
Oh, is that what it was, 2 out of 3
yep.
fall? Hey, dictionary. You know more about my career than I do.
Because as I've told you before, I remember the things I love. That time period of wrestling is when I got into watching it as a little kid. And I have a memory like an elephant. I told you, I think maybe it was someone else. But if you said to me, okay, the first time you went to the Boston Garden was August of 1986, I could rattle off the first top 4 or 5 matches, and this was monthly now when they ran Boston.
No, you was young then, too.
Yeah, I was 6.
Yeah, that sticks with you, yeah.
It stuck with me I could give you those, like I said, the top half of those house shows, lineups, from August of 86 until they closed the building in May of 95. It just, for whatever reason, it implanted in my brain.
Do you think elephants are smart? I know they say they got that excellent
memory. The
memory.
phrase is they have a good memory. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. I know they can step up on buckets at the fair and raise one leg up. But does that make them smart?
Anyone that can drink out of their nose, I guess, has got to be.
Yeah, that's true too. And then sometimes they stick their nose up in the other one's rear end.
Do they?
Yeah, I saw it on.
They humble them.
Yeah, with the trunk. Yeah, I saw it on Ridiculousness. I was watching that, and one elephant stuck his trunk way up the other one's butt. Kind of a nasty thing to be bringing up. I hope nobody out there is eating right now. Yeah, well, right up the poop chute, and they bring it out and sling it around and then put it in their mouth. I guess it's just ground up grass. Yeah. You know what they eat? Grass and trees.
Yeah. So it's got to be healthy, I guess.
They're vegetarians. And that's how you know vegetarian diets don't work. Look at elephants. That's all they eat is vegetarian.
Well, your friend in the back over there, Matt Daddy, he and I saw some elephants at the Houston Zoo back in January, but I don't think there was any of that going on.
No, I think it was an unusual shot. I mean, that's the first time I'd seen it in my whole life.
Yeah.
It made the show Ridiculousness, so if it was that common, you wouldn't have been on a show like that.
Maybe Annie could have taught the elephants
They
something.
probably saw what she was doing to Hammer.
When you guys shot the angle with Arn and Tully, did you realize you were in for such a long run with them ahead?
No, but we was glad of it. The longer it went, because man, we was tearing houses down. Yeah. They were loving it, and we were too. And I guess Tully and Arn. Arn hurt my feelings though a little bit, and I think it may have been in his book, or either I think it was in his book. He's got a book out, right?
Yeah.
Why ain't you got it here?
That's an old book. That was one of the.
Oh,
no,
I'm
I mean
a-
that
I'm
was
an
one
old
of the.
wrestler.
That was one of the first of the wrestling autobiographies that came out about 20
way
years
back,
ago.
yeah. It was way.
Yeah.
I tell you when, it was about 89 or something, 90, somewhere in there, because we had just got through with them with the running that thing, and Arn had a thing. Arn had put in his book during that run that they enjoyed it also. I remember, I think it was in Madison Square Garden too, where and he said, well, Marty kind of broke my neck.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's what. And he said that when I jumped on his, like from behind, straddling behind, and you roll forward, like a victory roll forward thing. He said I didn't tuck his head, and he pile drove himself into the floor. Well, no, you don't ever tuck the guy's head. The guy tucks his head. I mean, you're going to shoot through his legs there. There ain't no tucking of the head. I mean, you tuck your head and then mess him all up from rolling. You got to see where you're going. But I mean, where I think he really was, he was upset because he got like stiff like this, and he was out on the apron or out on the floor, and he's walking out. Sean slides out to get Tully on the one side. So we did a double, I think, to him. And I slide out to get Arn, and I'm hitting, and he's going, Nick. I'm like, oh, hit you in the neck. He's going, no, God damn it, my neck is fucking broke. So I think maybe that's what he remembered, because I'm punching him in his neck, and he's trying to tell me his neck hurts. But that was in his book. So, and I love Arn to death. I think he likes me. I don't know. He sure used to cut up with me a lot and cut on me. Cut me. Cutting up and playing.
Sure.
He always ribbed me about this. How small I was. He said one time, you and Pat Tanaka, man, we could fit y'all in the overhead bin and have a little more room on the plane. Talking about how small we were. I told you about Pat with the head shaving.
Yeah.
We ever talked about that one?
Well, you told us about it, but we haven't got to the Orient Express
We'll get
yet
there,
in
okay.
their adventure. Yeah.
right.
And you had a great series with Orient Express
Yes,
too.
we did.
The fans would love to hear
I
about.
can't think of anybody we didn't. The first one was Conquistadors, loved it. Next was Tully and Arn, loved it. Next was Powers of Pain, maybe?
Power and Glory.
Power and Glory.
No, wait a minute. Into '89, Rougeau's.
Rougeau's, that was great.
Then
man.
Powers
We were
of
doing
Pain.
hour-long matches.
Yeah.
And I think they were we'd end up tied. It was most amount of falls in an hour. And they'd always end up tied, either 1-1 or 2-2. So we'd go overtime. And we'd go another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
we was
you
doing this
had a
every night.
big run with the Rougeau's after pretty much from the end of the Brainbusters run through the fall of '89. We're going to get there as we progress, because that was a really good series of matches too. that you had.
Yeah, I mean, Power and Glory, Powers of Pain. Who else?
Orient Express.
Orient Express, those were really good.
Yeah.
Because they could do our style too. They could, could do high flying. So we had some good ones. I remember the Royal Rumble in '91, maybe.
Yes,
Piper was
yes.
announcing, and Piper came and hugged us afterwards. He said that was so good.
That was fantastic.
It was the best way to open a show. And that's another thing I try to tell some of my kids, like when I got to seminars or running a wrestling school, is don't be insulted to be on first of big shows, because it's almost, Piper's the one that explained that to us. He says, going on, because Sean would be visible with his, rants and getting upset, like, why are we on first? We're the best team here. Why are we on first? Roddy explained, he goes, it's a compliment because you want to start the show with a bang. You don't want to start it out with bullshit, everybody just, I just ain't worth a damn. Get them all riled up and excited right from the get-go. Then it's on the next guy to keep them there.
Right.
But yeah, it's not an insult at all to be first. And then even on the smaller shows, don't be insulted to be on first. Go out there and start the show off right and put your all into it.
I would think on a non-televised event, to me, the key spots would be when we try and put our events together, opener, right before intermission, and then main event.
Yeah, and right after intermission too. You got to put a slow dragon match because people are still coming back with popcorn.
That's usually the popcorn match,
Yeah.
But fans, look at how far into this series with Marty we are now each and every Thursday night. We haven't even got to the end of 1988 yet. Think of Marty's career, not only just in WWF, but his career as a whole. Think about the great content we have coming your way.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
A lot of great stuff.
I think it was 2000. I moved over to Liverpool for a while.
You lived in England?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In Liverpool for not long, like about 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And but I loved it, man. Brian Dixon was a promoter, and he had towns lined up. We did double shots there, especially in Liverpool. That was always a double shot. But I mean, every day. I think we did 33 straight days. We had 33 matches in 31 days.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we had a day off. And then we went right back to another 30-day, 20-day run. And everybody's looking at me because at that time I think I was like 40. And they're like, "Hey, old man, are you able? You gonna keep up?" And shit, I was doing better than the young guys. There was that Vince.
There was the Vince.
You heard it
laugh.
that time, didn't you?
Did you know Arn and Tully before you started the feud with them? Or did you ever come across them in your travels in wrestling? Or I can't think of when maybe you would have.
I don't think we did. I mean, I knew who they were, of course, but I think that was the first time actually interacting with them. I'm trying to think if I met Arn in Mid-South. No, I think that was the first time, and Tully too. Tully had a white leather Lincoln in Texas or Mid-South maybe, and I think he was riding, his car, and the fans had got so hot at Manny Fernandez, I guess. I think that's the correct story, but somebody stabbed him on the heat was up there to where the fans would gig you going to the car. And he's bleeding all over the place, and Tully didn't want to let him in. He said, "No, don't get getting blood all over my seat."
He didn't want him to ruin the car.
Yeah. I don't know how that worked out.
That happened here in Boston with Blackjack Mulligan. He was working Pedro Morales, and the crazy Italians, they brought in a knife dipped in pig fat.
A what?
A knife dipped in pig fat.
Why pig fat?
I have because of the infection that it was caused, and they sliced him down the leg. I mean, he almost lost his leg.
Man, that's nasty.
Yeah, the fans in Boston could be violent, especially when
That's
Bruno
why the
was
cops
on
were
top.
so big. That was the first thing that I remembered about coming to the Boston Garden. Dang, the police were all 6'6", 300 pounds. Like, wow.
They needed him.
Yeah, I guess they did. And they threw the big ones there at the Garden. All the big guys were there. I thought, Boston is full of huge people.
Do you think Arn and Tully were happy to be working with you? You were really the first program they had. They worked some enhancement matches on TV, but the first angle, the first house show run they really had was with you guys. Do you think that was good for them to help kick off their run?
You'd have to ask them. I mean, I thought so, but that's me. I don't know what they think. They'd worked storylines with Rock and Roll Express, so they were kind of, they were experienced with working with, high flyers or whatever.
Similar style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar characters. They're very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I tell you, as we go more into 1989, we'll talk more about the great matches you had. Again, the MSG one is considered to this day one of the classics in that building of the decade. And the history at MSG speaks for itself, the mecca of professional wrestling. At the December of '88 TV tapings, more newcomers. He had the debut of former NWA World Champion, a man that you not only were around in locker rooms, but you mentioned before, flew with, rugged Ronnie Garvin.
Oh, Ronnie. Yeah, I liked old Ronnie. Still do, I mean. But, and we traveled together. Sometimes Sean and I, we would fly. Well, he had his own plane, and he would get the tickets from WWE and switch them however they did that. And he would take his own private plane. So we didn't have to go through the airports. Not that it's a bother to stop and sign autographs every 50 feet. But just sometimes you just like the peace, with him, we could go when we wanted. He knew, he got to get the flight plan into the people. So if you were late a little bit, he got a little, he wouldn't say much. He'd just get quiet when he got mad. But Sean and I were tardy once, and one time Hacksaw Duggan was with us. We went out in Duluth, Minnesota, and some things happened out in the parking lot. It had nothing to do with Sean and I. I mean, we was just with this dude he had said some bad words to some black guys.
Is this a wrestler you're talking about?
No, it was just somebody who was a fan and was hanging around with us. He was kind of a cool guy, and we were all partying, and he had his girl with him, and I don't know if he was walking out to the car with us or what, but Duggan had gone to get we were in a van. Duggan went to get the van. The time he'd come around to get us, there was a fight broke out. They beat the hell out of that guy because he was using the N-word, so there was about 4, 5, 6 guys that pummeling him, and I was trying to make him okay. They brought out a bat and hit him in the back, and I was like, that's enough, guys, that's enough. And they kept saying, you're not involved, to stay out more. They knew who I was. Stay out of this, you're not involved. Duggan comes riding up, and he's got the lights on, and he sees him with a bat looking at me, and then the guy on the ground, he don't know who it is. So he comes flying up and slams on brakes, and big-ass Duggan jumps out, right? What's going on here? And the guys were like, gosh damn. And they ran to the one guy said, I'm going to get my gun. And old Hacksaw goes, well, I'm going to get my gun too. And he reaches and he's ruffling around Burger King bags. He ain't got no gun in there. But he's acting like he's got it, and then they took off. So he might have saved the day on that one. But we got in late, and then we said we were all at the same hotel. We talked about that for a while, and told Duggan what happened, because he was like, what the hell?
Right, yeah.
What was all that about? I left y'all, everything was fine. And it was. It all broke out in like 30 seconds. And we got up and dragging ass the next morning and got to the plane about 30 minutes later than what Ronnie wanted to do. Because he hasn't put in the flight schedule.
Yeah.
You have to report in and get your takeoff time and all that. So he had to redo it, and he was a little mad at us, and it was, thank God we had Duggan with it. If it was just me and Sean, he'd been real mad. But Duggan was with him, so he was just, I gotta change the whole damn thing now. Don't be in no hurry. I gotta change the whole. And he goes, if somebody tells you on a private plane 4 o'clock, you get there at 4 o'clock, if not sooner. But we apologized. That's all we could do. We apologized, and that was about that.
Now, how would you get a rent-a-car when you'd arrive in the next city in Ronnie's plane?
It was always private. We never landed at the big airports. It was always like little private airports.
Yeah.
And they had rent-a-car places there.
Oh, right there?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Would you compensate Ronnie, or would you do the same thing? Would you cash out your tickets and give it to him?
I think so. I think we did. Everybody give him his tickets, so he might have come out ahead, a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
But so it's okay. I mean, it wasn't costing WWF anything, for him to do that, and it was a pleasure. Like Sean and I would sit in the back, and then the Rougeaus. Raymond was learning to pilot. He was.
Oh, he did it too.
He was up there co-piloting. That's why there was one time. And Raymond's pretty serious. I mean, he jokes around a little bit, but he's pretty serious, especially when flying. And we were leaving Green Bay one night. I don't know where the heck we was going. I just know we was flying out of Green Bay, and it was snowing, and the weather. We'd heard some Ronnie Garvin stories about flying. Like one time he was coming in for landing, and all of his equipment went out. The electrical went out.
Oh, Jesus.
And he had no lights to see the runway. And they said Ronnie didn't miss a beat. He just reached down, and like it happens every day, he got a flashlight. He's holding the window looking for the damn runway. Yeah, so what are you eating? CDO? What is that called? What is that, CD? Oh, you can't talk?
5 Hour Energy.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay. Well, the CDC oil is legal, I think.
I think so, yeah.
I need some of my ankles, man. Either that or a bottle of vodka, and I'm trying not to drink no more. I don't want to drink no more.
You're behaving yourself.
Yeah.
You're behaving yourself.
Well, I have to. I mean, it affects me different now that I'm older. Why did I change off the Ronnie Garvin story to alcohol?
I have no idea. Well, Ronnie wasn't drinking up in the plane, was he?
No, but so Raymond's sitting up there, and we just see him like turning and looking at Ronnie, and his face is so serious. And Jacques Rougeau knows his brother pretty good, and he said something in French. Something like that. And we're like, why is he talking to him in French? Something ain't going right here. And I'm like, hey, in English, Raymond, what's going on? And he goes, well, we're going down pretty fast. There's ice on the wings. Because it was snowy out. And Ronnie's just not even worried about it. And I was like, Ronnie, what do we do about this now? Are we going to make it? It'll be all right. We get low enough, it'll melt. He didn't miss a beat.
How many people would fit on the plane?
There was the Rougeaus, Ronnie, be it Sean. Sometimes Duggan would go. That was the max.
They could fit 6 people plus luggage?
Yeah.
And was that the worst experience you ever had in the air with them, or?
I think so. The one, because you could actually feel yourself, and you ain't supposed to be going down, in the middle of the flight. And we had to put a lot of trust in Ronnie. Raymond was panicking up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, man, we're going down fast. So we're back there thinking, this is it. You know,
Wow.
I don't even think we had cell phones yet. You
no,
couldn't
not
text
then.
nobody, say, hey, look, I love you. You just had to like die by yourself.
Were you comfortable flying in such a small plane
Yeah, I
compared to
liked it.
commercial aircraft? Yeah.
Yeah, we sit there and play cards. The trip would be over like instant. You know, in fact, you didn't want the trip to be over because then you got to go to work.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and we sit and play cribbage or, gin rummy, cards, or cribbage and but we had, boy, just to tell you how long ago it was, we had Game Boys. And we played,
really? Yeah?
Yeah, we played the hell out of some Game Boy. Yeah, and that makes time go by though. I mean, it's, you play a golf game or a football game and it's just, man, that was cool, but I forgot about them.
What was
they
your
got little
favorite Game
cartilage.
Boy game? Yeah.
I think everybody liked Tetris.
Tetris and Dr. Mario were my favorites.
Yeah, I like those, but I like the golf. I never got to golf. I've been to driving ranges and done pretty good on that when I wasn't aiming this way, like trying to hit it out on the highway and get the cars, which was stupid as shit. If I would have hit one and they wrecked, then what? Yeah. The people could have got hurt or worse than hurt. That was just dumbass shit that you do when you're young. But and then I've been on the putt-putts and I did pretty good on the putt-putt. But me and Matt Daddy was talking about it, but I've never done the whole thing, the in-between, I'd love to. Raymond and Jacques, yeah, he hates when I do that. Yeah. He says, it sounds like you're going to honk a loogie. No, it doesn't. Yeah. They would go find golf courses, and Anvil Neidhart loved it too. Like he had that Medicus or whatever. What's that thing called, Matt Daddy? They used to break down in the middle. But it was a golf club.
Yeah, he's in a big rush to give you the answer, I guess.
But yeah, they would, whereas we'd go to the gym or do whatever our routine for the day. Pretty much you've always found a gym at the time, but they would find a golf course and go shoot a few holes, 9 holes, and brag about it the rest of the evening, how much fun they had. So, I wanted to do that, but I just thought about, okay, I don't know if they say it's real relaxing, the game of golf is. So maybe that is something we should have done instead of going to the gym and banging out weights all the time.
I've never golfed.
What's that?
I've never golfed.
Me either.
No,
Like
I
I
miniature
said,
golf with the kids, but
yeah, and then the driving range is pretty fun because you see how far you can drill the ball. And I think it was 350 yards was as far as I got it. And I don't know if that's good or not because I think there was a 400 I was trying to hit. I never really got it that far.
wow.
But what were we saying?
We're talking about Ronnie Garvin, his
yeah.
WWF. Ronnie, do you think he fit in WWF? He really didn't have much to do there.
Well, him and Hammer had some
had a
hellacious
feud that never ended.
Yeah, and oh my God, they were, both of them were raw bone tough.
Yeah.
They'd go out and chop. I mean, when they'd come back from their match, there'd be handprints, like red, where the blood was, just about ready to come up. Handprints all over them. Down, they were getting chops in their stomachs, on the back, on their arms. I mean, they were just chop machine, pow, 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 pow. And they did some raw bone stuff. There's a training technique that we actually incorporated, which they would do it out in the ring, but where you lock around each other. It's like bull in the ring. You try to push each other back to the rope. It's like a contest, but it's such good training for everything. I mean, your legs, your upper body, the back, everything. It's you do it for about 30, 45 seconds, and you're breathing hard. Man, they would do that out in the ring. We'd sit there and watch them, like, because we knew what they were doing. We're like, they do it for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes straight. We're like, holy shit. The fans have no clue. The fans are like, boring. Go, well, what are y'all doing? But we were like, son of a bitch. And look how long they're going with this shit. But they had a good little run, and I enjoyed it because it was watching the old school style,
Good opponents for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anybody else can handle all those chops. Except maybe Haku. Because he'll give you one back and you'll stop.
Like getting hit by a tree.
God, he hit me in WrestleMania 7. He gave me one and he apologized to the rest of them. I'm sorry, Marty. Marty, so sorry, so sorry.
It was that stiff.
Yeah, and he gave me another one. but yeah, he hit me the one I can't forget. I mean, I felt like, but he hit me in the back and I had a print on the front. He hit me so hard. No, but I felt like my heart almost came out. And he didn't mean, he's just raw bone strong like that. He was great to work with. It was just that, I don't know if maybe he was letting me know, like, if you ever try me, this is what you get. You know, which I would never try
I think he had
him.
enough of a reputation by that point, did he not?
Ain't nobody trying him.
Yeah.
I think I told the story. We're jumping ahead again, I'll wait. But we was in a little place in St. Louis, East St. Louis, over the bridge. And there was a biker place. And we were just getting beer to go. And they saw him and they thought, you know, for whatever reasons, the bikers didn't like him because they thought he was black. And they started throwing the N-word at him.
Really?
Yeah, and the Samoans don't like to be called that either. You know, and Samoans are nobody to mess with. And I just remember, like, I was getting nervous because I'd say about 10 guys, maybe a couple more. But I just know there's a bunch of them and only 2 of us. And I'm not sure. I just remember being scared. I'd heard all about Haku, how he can handle himself.
Yeah.
But we're way outnumbered here. And I keep confusing because Julie, one of the seamstress girls, was riding along with us one time. They thought they were together. That might have been another. This one I remember is this. But there was 2 incidents with him and the same results. The guys finally came over. One of them figured, and he wasn't saying nothing. It was sort of like Harley Race when the guy was calling wrestling fake. You know, that blood is ketchup. He never said a word. He's okay. Same kind of thing. Just quiet. You know, I could tell he was getting pissed because he was kind of jovial and cutting up with me, and then he just got real quiet. You know, like his body language just changed drastically. He's not happy. They're gonna fuck with it. Oh, excuse my language. They're gonna mess with him. Have we been cussing anyway, haven't we?
We have.
Okay, sorry about the cuss words. But so the first one that came over, I said, whatever he said to him, you listen to me when I talk to you, you N-word. And he never should have put his hands on Haku.
Death sentence.
That's when I saw everything you heard. You heard the stories. Windmilled that guy and slung him over the bar, and then the other guys are coming. I don't think Haku threw a punch. His feet, pow, pow, pow. And they'd hit the wall and like slide down like a cartoon, like a sheet of paper sliding down the wall.
Wow.
And I'm standing there the whole time like looking for me somebody to hit, but I didn't need to. he took care of it. The last couple, after he did all that, the last couple backed away. And he didn't go after them. He just got the ones coming at us. Got our beer and left. That was that. Yeah, so Haku, he did more. He might have, he's so quick, he might have threw a punch or 2. But I mean, his feet, both of them, bam, 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 knockout, knockout. You know, it was wild to see that. You know, you hear the stories, but to be right there looking at it, scared to death because you're thinking they're going to pull out guns and blades, but they didn't. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't. They all got knocked out, except for the 2 guys that started backing off after all that. I bet he knocked about 6 or 7 guys out in like about 10 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, he went down the aisle kicking. And they went up against the walls. And I swear to God, it looked like a cartoon. It slid down the walls. There was a half of Vince.
Half of events left. All right, well, you have to start rating them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I'll give you a 7 on that one.
All right, wrestling fans, I tell you, we continue these great memories and experiences from the mind of Marty Jannetty through his near 4 decades in the king of sports, professional wrestling. We're having a great time.
But it has been that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds horrible.
When you think about it, you're actually in
Well,
now.
yeah.
Now that it's the 2020s, you're in your 5th decade.
Yeah. Oh, damn. You know, I'm in the Hall of Fame in West Virginia.
Are you?
And Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to accumulate all 50 states,
Yeah, I
guess.
think so.
Then maybe Vince will let you in his.
Well, no, eventually when Sean's ready, we'll get in there.
All
That
right.
was a full Vince.
That was a full.
That's a 10.
Maybe that's the way he laughed when he heard the comment. Who
They
knows?
probably did.
All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time this week. Don't forget, we'll be back each and every Thursday night. Myself, the future WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Marty Jannetty. Every Tuesday night, of course, we're joined by the official WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas.
Does he got his ring? He show you the ring?
He's got the ring, yep.
I like that ring, man.
Don't forget, if you're watching the Thursday night premiere, hopefully you're chatting away with us in live time, having fun. The Super Chat is available. If you use that, it helps keep the wrestling legends like Marty, like Tony, and so many more working. That is our goal with this program. We just don't want to present these stories to you. We want you to feel like you're a part of our family. And our family's mission, again, is to try and help professional wrestling legends earn an income without having to step into the ring anymore. WWE owns the video libraries they own. They can create the history with it they want to. It's at their discretion. But the way we do things is a little different. It's a little more loose, a little bit more fun. And it seems like you guys are enjoying it for us to go along this long.
Well, you should get on PBS.
Why is that?
Public Broadcasting System, because that's what they do. You know,
I didn't go to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, though.
Matt Daddy's talking about you.
Or his partner in crime, the mayor of Glantzville.
Goliath.
Goliath, yeah. He is a Goliath, if we've ever met one. All right, wrestling fans, don't forget the holiday season is coming. We got the great merchandise on eBay. We got the Patreon subscription service going where you can get early ad-free access to these shows.
Yeah, they got Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn I never use, and Instagram I got to start using.
All right, well.
All under MJ in the House or Marty Jannetty.
Or something like that.
Yeah. That was a better
Something
Vince.
like that.
Vince
All
is
right.
going to get jealous now.
All right, wrestling fans, we'll be back next Thursday night at 9 as we continue to talk about some great 1980s WWF memories. He's going to change shirts. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours, stay healthy and be well. Good night.
Rock it.
Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive is here. Coronavirus has been the Grinch in preventing a live wrestling event from taking place in 2020. But November and December will bring you an unbelievable series of live television tapings, raffles, merchandise, and cyber autograph signings, including 2 all-inclusive VIP packages you're not going to want to miss out on. We'll discuss a little later in this video. Let's take a look at this all-star lineup of superstars headed your way for the holiday season. Recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush, who's going to be co-hosting Wrestling Insider's Rush Hour, the miniseries, kicks off our 2020 efforts Thursday, November the 5th. Leo was the first to open his heart to our efforts to keep Paul Bearer's name alive and put smiles on kids' faces. Then on Saturday night, November the 14th, WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas will be with us again, signing autographs, meeting, greeting online, as well as having his renowned artwork available. Friday night, November the 20th, Sunday night, November the 22nd, during our Survivor Series watch-along, former Intercontinental and Tag Team Champion Marty Jannetty will be with us live. When it comes to Marty, expect the unexpected. Early December explodes with brand new superstars coming to MWF Studios for the very first time on Friday night, December the 4th, during WWE SmackDown. Join former Intercontinental Champion and Nation of Domination member Savio Vega with rumors that the martial arts expert Kwang may join us as well. On Saturday, December the 5th, batten down the hatches, former WWE and WCW Tag Team Champions Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, the Nasty Boys, will be live in studio for what should be an extremely memorable taping and cyber autograph signing. Great chance to get one of the top tag teams of the 80s and 90s together. Sunday, December the 6th, we're going to have an NXT TakeOver watch-along with WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke. From 1988 through 1996, Luke had a memorable run in WWE with a career spanning the globe since the 60s. Friday night, December the 11th, one of the most powerful superstars in the history of professional wrestling, the Warlord, joins us in studio, looking back at his big run in the WWF from 1988 through 1992. Saturday night, December the 12th, join us for a rare appearance by a superstar that was undefeated in the WWF for nearly 2 years, Native American Tatanka. We cap it off Sunday, December the 13th with one of the future stars of professional wrestling, having competed here in Boston Wrestling MWF, more recently in the Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament, Wheeler Yuta. John Cena Sr. is going to be taking part in a live cyber signing as well and is working on recruiting even more superstars to join our efforts to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house in 2020. You never know who or what to expect as we work our magic to create smiles on kids' faces around the globe, around the clock. VIP packages are available now. Early bird pricing through November the 15th. It's limited to 50 fans. The VIP Elite package, that comes with one autograph photo of all 11 featured superstars, plus a bonus Kwang autographed 8x10. It also includes an autographed Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive 2020 11x17 poster and a raffle ticket to win a package of WWE NXT 11x14 autograph posters, thanks to our friends at NXT down in Orlando. We also have a standard VIP package that includes one autograph photo of each of our 11 featured superstars, plus a raffle ticket to win a limited edition Drew McIntyre, one of only 36 WrestleMania 36 autographed 8x10 photo from our friends at WWE. If you're not interested in an all-inclusive VIP package, don't worry. Each superstar will be available for individual autographs. A mail order is also available for your own personal items. Don't worry, if you can't join us for all of the live cyber autograph signings that are going to be streaming online, your 8x10 photo will still be signed and mailed to your home. If you get a VIP package after a superstar's signing is already taking place, again, don't worry, they're going to sign plenty for the entire holiday season. Those that purchase individual photos, they'll be shipped right after the signing takes place. The VIP packages will be shipped in one giant package beginning December the 14th. We continue to miss the late, great Paul Bearer each and every day. His heart of gold continues to shine with our annual Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive efforts, and this year, again, will be no exception. 2020, it's been a rough year for all of us, but get ready for a season of Boston wrestling sports memories and legends while putting smiles on kids' faces. In December, that's what it's all about. VIP packages and individual autographs are available now at bostonwrestling.com.